What's up, it's Cinema Shogun here, and we've been talking a lot about missing person cases, psychopathic stalker, freaking unalivers. We've been talking about a lot of stuff on this channel, so I figured it was time for a Britney Spears video. Now, I know everyone's been focused on all types of stuff when it comes to Britney Spears. We got her comments turned off, and then they turned on, only to be turned off again. I think Sam was tracked down and interviewed, and he was like, I don't control Britney. I don't even pick what we eat for dinner. And of course, Britney recently, after, what I thought she was trying to make up with her sister. But now she's attacking and dragging her sister again. And everyone is focused on all of that stuff when we should really be focused on one key detail. Now, I mentioned this on Twitter a few days ago. If you haven't already, follow me on Twitter. But Britney Spears is already selling the new house that she just bought a couple of months ago. A $12 million home. She bought it a couple of months ago. Took 7 pictures in it. Danced around and spun in circles a couple of times. And now she's out of there. Now she is already selling the home. Now Britney can do whatever she wants to do with her money. But I do find this odd. Rich people do weird things. But how often do people buy $12 million homes only to sell them a couple of months later? I think there may be something here. But then again, maybe not. But at the very least, I think it may point towards the fact that Britney is making a lot of irrational decisions. When you look at the weird sporadic post on her Instagram, and then you match it up with the fact that she bought a $12 million house that she's selling 3 months later, it kind of raises some concerns. Now, I told you all from day one that this new house was weird. We saw Sam at the house. We didn't see Britney at the house much, but we would see pictures of Sam, and he had that neon sign that said Asghari HQ, as if it was his own little home that he would go to get away from Britney. And the whole time while we thought Britney was staying there, we were still seeing old photos from the old house. Not to mention the wedding. Britney Spears got married at her old house, a place that many people compared to a prison. Seeing Britney in that same living room all the time and thinking that Britney couldn't leave, when in reality she could. But Britney chose to get married in that home. After all of this big, huge fight for freedom, she decided to get married at her own prison. And then, 2 days after this marriage, they already bought a new house. 2 days after, maybe not exactly 2 days, I'm just using that as a figure of speech, but a couple of days after they got married, we get the news that they bought this new house and they're moving in, and they're moving out of Britney's old house. None of it made sense. None of it made sense at all. Why wouldn't you just have your wedding at your brand new house that you're about to move into? So, I'm not so sure what is going on here. Is this something Sam convinced Britney to do? And seeing as it didn't happen until after they were married, maybe that's something that some will view as kind of weird. Then, like I said, I think maybe the most logical answer is that Britney, she's just all over the place. Britney wakes up one day and she feels like she's a little girl from London. Britney wakes up one day and wants to make peace with her family. Britney wakes up one day and wants to call Christina Aguilera fat. Britney wakes up one day and attacks her sister. Britney wakes up one day and decides, I'm going to blow $12 million on a house that I'm going to take a couple of pictures in and then never go there again. Also, look at what was happening during this time period. Everyone was worried about Britney, and everyone was totally over Those videos of her twirling in a circle in that same living room. At that point, people were just counting the turds on the floor, wondering what was going to happen next. And I'm not saying this is the case, but it was almost as if this was something to appease everyone. Like, hey, Britney's in a new house. She's not in the same living room. Leave us the F alone. And then 2 months later, she's back in the same living room, and that house is getting sold. Now, I understand to the average person, you're like, Britney's mega rich. She can do what she wants. That's not necessarily how money works. And often these people aren't worth as much money as you think they are. And even if their net worth says something, that doesn't mean that they have that amount of cash that they could physically pull out and use at that moment. A lot of times that stuff is wrapped up in assets and you know, how much their business ventures are worth and what have you. Oftentimes it's not like a celebrity has $600 million that they can pull out and spend today. So it's not normal for someone to buy a $15 million house or a $12 million house and sell it a couple of months later. I do think there's something going on here. I don't know what. Like I said, I already told you what I think the most logical explanation could be. But I would really like to know the details here. Like, I believe someone is probably making some money off of this situation. When you see that much money being kind of transferred back and forth, who's taking some off the top? And what agenda do they have? You know what I mean? Like, did someone on Britney's team coerce Britney to make this purchase? And, you know, they're somewhat, you know, taking some type of money out of this. When you see that much money transferred that quickly, just a couple months later, we're going to sell this house again. I can't help but feel like there's someone, like a middleman in the middle, that's probably taking a little bit of a cut off the top. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like someone probably made some money off of this situation. Who made money off of this situation? And why was this decision made to buy a $12 million home only to sell it a couple of months later after, I don't know, being in it a few times, taking a few pictures? But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below, because I could go over the possibilities all day. I want to know what you all think happened down in the comment section. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up button, hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, and I will talk to you all in the next video.